Next, we have models of settlement hierarchy. There are three ways to study settlement. How a settlement develops and agglomerates. For example, what are the side factors, cultural factors involving? We have studied roof conurbation, urban agglomeration. Second is how a settlement looks from inside, which is urban morphology. We have seen this already. Third is how does the settlement relate with other settlements, which are classification, which we have seen already. Hierarchy we will see now. So morphology is city as a region, and classification and hierarchy is city in a region. So city as a region is how is the city inside, and this city in India, how many cities are there and how do they relate with each other. So hierarchy, we have a village at the lowest level, town, city, and the capital at the top level. But in reality, it will be like this: village, town, city, and there will be many top cities there. If there is high inequality, the height will increase. So why does the hierarchy exist? Because in terms of population size, there will be difference, functions performed, and the relative importance of the cities. So there are three models we will study, which are primate city given by the Mark Jefferson in 1939, rank size rule given by Ziff in 1940s, and CPT given by Crystal in 1933. First, we will see primate city concept. This was given by Mark Jefferson in 1939. So according to him, in a settlement complex, there is a single city called primate city, which is disproportionately large, and it will excessively express the country's culture, economy, and capacity. For example, London for UK, Sao Paulo for Brazil, Paris for France, and Mexico City for Mexico. So Mark Jefferson, he studied 51 cities, and he found that 46 of them had primate cities, with 28 of them being twice as large as second largest, and 18 of them being thrice as largest as second largest city. Countries with no primate cities were India, Canada, and Australia. But we must note that he is comparing population size only, so he's not comparing functions or economy. And also, he did not explain why this is happening. This was later provided by Linsky and Gunnar Myrdal. So first, let's see Linsky's explanation. So according to him, the features of the country with primate cities are small territory, agricultural base, low per capita income, high population growth, and formal colonial status. These correlate with the least developing countries and developing countries, but this primacy is also seen in developed countries like UK, France, and Russia. So to offer explanation to Russia and Brazil, we can say that because most of the Russia, like Siberia, is not in not habitable, and Amazon is in Brazil is not habitable, they have the primacy. Next, we have the cumulative causation theory by Gunnar Myrdal. So, according to him, primate city is a symbol of inequality. So, he explains this through this vicious cycle. For example, a city has certain advantage. Because of that advantage, it grows disproportionately with respect to other regions, and because of this, it accumulates labor, technology, investment, etc., and it further grows. Therefore, its advantage further increases and it further grows, and this vicious cycle keeps on continuing. Therefore, it is a symbol of inequality. For example, Hyderabad in Telangana is a island of development. Only Hyderabad is developed, rest area is not developed. So this is seen in India at state level. But small countries, on the other hand, one city can meet all the economic and infra needs. So if there are two or more primate cities, it will be duplication. For example, Tel Aviv in Israel and Colombo in Sri Lanka. We must use Gunnar Myrdal to show disability of the primate city. For example, large city, it is a symbol of inequality, therefore it is bad, and a small country, it is a symbol of efficiency, therefore it is good. Now, application to India, it doesn't apply at national level because of large territory, high diversity, and population is huge and fairly dispersed. And former four British presidencies developed into four mega cities. But this can be applied at state level because 15 states exhibit primacy, which can be explained by the Gunnar Myrdal cumulative causation model we have seen already. Next, we have the rank size rule. This was actually observed by Auerbach, but mathematical formula was given by Ziff in 1940s. So, what is the difference between primate city and rank size rule? Is that primate city compares only first and second, whereas rank size rule compares all cities in the settlement complex. So, he also uses the criteria of the population size. The method he uses are both empirical studies and use of mathematical concepts. So, the formula is gives is a Pn is directly proportional to 1/nth of P1. Therefore, population of nth largest city is 1/nth of the largest city, that is second largest city is half of the largest city. So if you plot the same on the graph, we get this hyperbolic curve which is like this. So but in a hyperbolic curve, it is very difficult to understand what is the difference. So if you apply the log function and give the straight line, we can easily compare this. So these observations were confirmed in US by Peter Haggett and Barry Horton in 1940s and 60s. So, but in real life, deviations do occur. If there is a binary deviation, for example, twin cities, it will go like this. And if there is prime axis, that is one city is extremely disproportionately large, then it will go like this. So it will sag and it will bulge out. And this is the ideal axis rule. So why does this happen is because of forces of unification and forces of diversification. Forces of unification are urban settlements, they are competitive, so they can't coexist, though therefore settlements they come and coalesce and form and large cities which will be very few and dispersed, whereas rural areas they are self-contained and they do not have much interaction with the surroundings. Therefore many villages and towns they are many and they can coexist. This can be seen in India that four mega cities are at the four corners, which are Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. So does this rule apply to India? No, it does not apply, not even state level. Only exception is that it can apply to Rajasthan to some extent.